I love my country. I think you can tell that by all of the UK influence around. Sent to an orphanage. So my first ever work was Indonesian or Malay. 5 years old, I was glue sniffing. It's 1998, found my wife fucking another man against the wall. I was actually pronounced dead, and then they brought me back to life. They followed me for 3 weeks, apparently with a view to killing me, thinking I was a spy. This was me pointing a gun at a loud policeman. Got my job with Richard Branson because of the stereophonics, and then let someone else sign the stereophonics.
After traipsing my way into Vang Vieng and getting drunk for a few days, I stumbled into a bar called Yo-Yo's and met a lovely gentleman by the name of Nick Siddall and asked if he'd sit down with me for an interview about his life and how he ended up as an expat in Laos.
Kind of hope customers come in during it.
Yeah, makes it look like something important's going on. Cool, so I'm here with Nick, who I met a couple of days ago while we were in here playing Jenga.
That was fun.
We had a nice night. And as he was explaining his life story to us, it sounded incredibly interesting.
Story? How many fucking years have you got? Well, I was born in Leamington in the New Forest. I only found that out when I was 16. I thought, because my passport, original passport that my mum and dad had, and mate said Leamington Spa.
Right.
So I did a pilgrimage at 13 or something, bunking off school. Went up to Leamington Spa. Up to Leamington Spa, Midlands. And found out a few years later that I wasn't born from there, so that was a waste of fucking time. Anyway, I was born in the New Forest, Leamington, and then sent to an orphanage in Bournemouth. Well, this is why I never understood why I was adopted in Bournemouth but came from Leamington Spa. It just never made sense to me. Back in 1967, you weren't allowed to be a single mum. My old man didn't want to marry my mum. He was 19, my mum was 25. Didn't want to marry her, so she had no choice. And I ended up in this orphanage. 3 months later, my mum and adopted parents, my mum and dad, came and got me. And they said, "Are you really sure you want this kid?" And they went, "Why not? Look at him, he's got a big smile on him." Oh, I don't have much of a smile now.
Yeah.
I look like more Bugs Bunny. And then they said, "Yeah, why not?" And they went, "We can't get him to do what we want now, and he's only 3 months old." And they took me back to theirs, and I never fucking did anything anyone ever wanted me to do.
Did you, with your adopted parents, did you feel like you loved them and like you were happy with the fact that they adopted?
Yeah, my mum died a couple of years ago, and I insulted the rest of the family on her funeral because I couldn't get back to England, COVID time still. And they didn't even tell me she died. I found out from an ex-next door neighbour 2 days after she'd died. Yeah, that kind of made me not exactly like the rest of the family.
Well, that's going to rub you up the wrong way.
Well, fucking right. That rubbed me up way more than the wrong way. You have no idea what I called all my family.
Yeah.
But
were you close with the rest of the family previously?
No, I haven't spoken to my brother. Last time I spoke to him was 2002 when I smacked him out of a restaurant window. He called me something you don't want on your video, and then we never got on anyway. I spoke with him one time since then. I never liked him. He never liked me either. I'm all right with my old man. He's 94 now. I still call him everything under the sun. I was always aggressive and I was always abusive.
Do you think that's a nature thing or because?
Yeah. They blame my real dad.
Oh, okay.
My real dad was training to be a journalist, 19 years old. My mum was 25 and a pianist, kind of apparently semi-famous or something. I don't know who the fuck they are. I don't know who they are, really. I have no interest, never wanted to find them. My adopted parents are all right. I'm not. I was an anarchist before punk came around, and then punk obviously was ideal for me.
Do you feel it was a big influence on your life when punk became a thing? What year would that be? Like
1976 punk came around, but I was already there. I'd been banned from nursery school already. Well, not banned, they just said Nick doesn't like being told what to do. And then I got told, they put me in a little private school thing, and at 4 years old I was told to get the hell out of that as well. And then I managed to survive middle school, primary school and middle school because I ran away most of the time and just didn't bother going. I was already on alcohol and drugs by that point. 5 years old I was glue sniffing, petrol, Tipex dinners, permanent mugs. That's why half the things are banned because of my generation. We were doing it. I went to a school with 300 pikeys and gypsies, 365 students, 300 proper gypsies, 60 living in council houses by then, 5 middle class, only 1 boy. Dunno, thank you very much. Yeah, fucking great. My mum and dad sending me to fucking school wearing a uniform, school shorts and a blazer and crap like that. Got the fucking shit beaten out of me.
it's not going to help.
Yeah, well, I just got hard. I had to be hard. If I wanted to survive, I just had to get fucking hard. And I did it.
And you said
12 years old Mohican.
Cool.
13 years old, they said I was the craziest person and the most dangerous person they ever met at school. And they said he has no morals, he has no regret, he has no conscience about anything he does. I said, well, if I was going to feel any of that, I wouldn't have fucking done it, would I? I just never bothered going. I was already on the road. I was hanging out with Mark Ullman and Boy George and Theatre of Hate and punk bands and New Romantic and all of that when it started. Why the hell I needed school, huh?
Was that all around South London then? That's where they...
Not London, no, all around the country. I'd escape out of my bedroom window, end up in London. My mum and dad knew I'd probably got to London, and they kind of knew who I was hanging out with because people had phoned my parents and told them where I was. Mostly gay people, weirdly. I was never gay, even though I have a ladyboy girlfriend now, transgender. I was never actually gay. I've never ever fancied a man in my life. Transgender are different. And then they would phone, and Nick's a little bit upset at the moment, and we'll look after him for a few days. My mum and dad never ever worried about it, even though they probably didn't really like gays too much. This is fucking late 70s, early 80s and stuff.
Opinions were
very
different back then.
Different. Boy George really looked after me. Actually, Lemmy from Motorhead and Gary from the Magic Mushroom Band and many people looked after me really, really well, even when I was young.
I used to love touting Lemmy from Motorhead. When
I
people
love Lemmy, he's fucking great.
When people said my diabetes control was terrible, I'd be like, I'm not the worst in the world, Lemmy's worse. And then when he passed away, that was the thing I was most upset about. I was like, oh, I don't have the guy to point to and be like, no, he does a worse job than I do.
I actually cried when Lemmy died. I was on Koh Phangan in Thailand the day he died. 27th of December, I think it was. We got really hammered that day.
I only got to see him perform once, but I was like,
I've never seen him
absolutely stoked. I caught the end of his set at Download in, I can't remember what year it was, maybe 2016. But yeah, it was great.
Well, I never saw him live. I worked with Hawkwind, who he started with, but I never actually worked with Motorhead.
And you said previously, did you get expelled from school? What age was it? 13?
No, I was 15, unofficially expelled, but I was hardly ever there. I had no interest in school. You know, the problem with school, late 70s, early 80s, was you had all the fucking hippie teachers who were, oh, calm down, darlings, and then you had all the hardcore 50s that were just caning you, and There was no... Margaret Thatcher shut down my school because of drink, drugs and everything else, and violence. Good. No, it was a good thing. Best thing that could have ever happened to it. I'd already left. I lost a girlfriend because of that. It was on fucking national news, my school, for drink, drugs and violence.
What was the name of the school?
Evesham in Ivor Heath. Evesham Secondary School, Ivor Heath. I left with no qualifications. I didn't even bother taking any exams. I got qualifications since.
And then you started...
I didn't need them. They really... The fucking teachers were asking me what the fucking problem was and how to solve it and everything else. So, go fuck yourself, smack. I decked nearly half my teachers, put 2 of them in mental hospitals. No, it was just complete and utter chaos back then.
Was one of them a maths teacher?
But she was... I didn't smack her, I just drove her completely insane.
It was a maths teacher that you drove mad?
No, it was different back then. She made sure I stayed down a level so that she could keep me in the classroom because she really liked me or something and thought she could control me. Impossible, she was fucking loony. So in the end, I fucking went for it.
And you said you first went abroad at 5?
Yeah, to Spain on holiday.
That's nice. And at the time, I mean...
it might have been slightly later, 1975, so I must have been 7.
Does that mean your parents...
Franco was still alive.
Were they quite well off?
They weren't too bad. My mum and dad had lived in Spain in 1958 or 7 or something like that. Then they lived in Bahrain for a year. My old man worked for Caltex Oil, electrical engineer. You know the travelators in all the airports? My old man was on the team that invented all of that.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they lived in Sumatra from 62 to 64. And my first ever cat was called Kucing, which means cat in Indonesian and Malay. So my first ever word was Indonesian or Malay. And it was a Siamese cat, Thailand. And I got a painting in my room of the Chieftain's Hall in Bukit Tinggi in Sumatra from 1958, I think it was painted or something. I've got it here now. And I just grew up with Asia and always loved Southeast Asia. From a kid I knew, and then Vietnam War started and everything else, and I knew I was not meant to be in England. Everyone hates me in England. They always have and always will. Not all English people. Most of my friends that are English met travelling like yourself.
But I feel that when you meet people from different countries abroad that are travellers, they're not an accurate... they're not an accurate reflection of an average person from that country, because if they were, they'd still be in that country.
I get called a fucking traitor. I'm a rat. My mum and dad said to me I'm a rat deserting a sinking ship. I said, at least you know it's fucking sinking. I love my country. I think you can tell that by all of the UK influence around. I love my country, but I can't live there. I can't work there anymore. I can't do what I want to do. There's no freedom. That's why one of my signs says, "Welcome to freedom," with a Union Jack, and it says, "No binge drinking required. Slow and steady. No closing hours." No, we got used to 20 minutes. Ding dong, and then you fucking nick it. You'd just be lining up loads of shots and a few pints, and boom, 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 and then street fight.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Fucking weekend.
Yeah. You don't see a lot of fights here, and there are people from countries where that's common. You know, there's Australian and English here, but you don't see people getting into altercations. Really.
No, for what? No.
So you said you always wanted to come to Asia.
Oh yeah, first time I came here was in '94.
And where did you visit in '94?
Thailand and Myanmar. I didn't really know a lot about Laos then.
Was it a standard sort of backpacking trip?
No one fucking came here then. Myanmar was almost a no-go zone.
Well, it is again now.
Yeah, same now, yeah. I got refused a visa in 2005 to go there.
Because of previous altercations, or?
No. Well, not with me, no. Just they were kicking off yet again.
That's fair enough.
Thailand, never a problem.
So you came in '94, did you return to England and then come back?
Yeah, came back '96, then '98. I got married March the 7th, February the 7th, 1998. Found my wife fucking another man against the wall. Same 4 hours after we got married, same day. Came out to Thailand again. We went to Thailand and Myanmar again. Didn't speak to each other for a month. Got back to England and I kicked her out. And she still lives with him.
Where was that wife from?
England. Yeah, Windsor.
That's awful.
No, best thing that ever happened to me. I left the UK.
And then later on you had a wife.
I got a
Chinese
wife now, but I didn't marry her until 2008. She's in the wanker bang now. I'm not with her. We split up nearly 6 years ago or something.
How long did you spend in China with the shop?
About 10 years. I designed all of it. It was her original design. She had a shop in a different place, but I just expanded the whole thing. And then I was going over to South America. I didn't spend much time with her, to be honest. I spent most of the time still traveling. I found it very, very difficult to stay anywhere more than 3 weeks at a time. 17 years I travelled without staying anywhere more than 3 weeks at a time, even though I had a house here. And I had a house and a business in China. I didn't have a business here at the time. I still went to South America, Africa, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Middle East. I just couldn't settle down. And I just used to, I have no idea how I got away with this, because you're allowed 5 Cuban cigars, or any cigars, and 20 packets, or 10 packets of cigarettes, 200 bags. And I have no idea how, but I managed to smuggle 20 boxes of Cuban cigars back with me to China. 90 kilos of alpaca on flights as hand luggage.
Alpaca cigarettes. Yeah.
Alpaca is the jumpers, like a llama.
Oh,
llama
yeah, got
in
it.
Spanish. But alpaca's smoother. I was buying them for about $6 a piece, selling them for $500.
Wow.
T-shirts. I tried to sell cheap in China originally, 50 renminbi, 50 yuan for one T-shirt. No one fucking bought them. I was making more money off selling coffee and tea in my little coffee and tea garden out the back. I doubled the price and suddenly we sold 3,000 T-shirts in 2 weeks. Chinese and Russians are fucking crazy.
I think
they just... We've got money. I want to spend more. Show off.
Yeah.
I got more money than you. I paid more money for it. Where I was thinking, wow, in England we're waiting for everything to get half price.
And did you do any other jobs in Asia and whilst you were
I had a
traveling?
guest house until COVID.
In which country?
Yeah, in Vang Vieng, on the island, the little island. You can see it from Jaide's now. It's completely derelict now. Good. She deserves it. The woman who rented it to me is a complete and utter bitch. She deserves everything she got. She lost everything because of COVID. Good. COVID was the best thing that ever fucking happened to me. I managed to actually sleep. I hated Bliss Guest House. I was drinking 30 beers a day. I hated the fucking place. I was number 1 on Booking.com, but this bar is so much easier.
A lot calmer.
Mostly.
How many beers a day are we on now?
Well, how many have I had today? Yeah, I'm drinking small ones. I don't know, probably about 8.
That's
small,
steady.
so that's 4.
Yeah, and I mean
4 big.
You're awake for about 20 hours a day, so that's not bad.
Yeah, I think I opened at 6 o'clock this morning, and what are we on now? About 6 o'clock at night. 12 hours, 8 beers. I don't think that's too drastic. Yeah, exactly 6 o'clock. Fucking hell, I'm a genius. I don't even have to look at the clock to know what time it is.
And when did Vang Vieng become home for you? Because you were in China
26 years ago.
26 years ago. I thought you still had the shop in China then.
Well, I didn't know. My idea, I used to go travelling to China, and Yunnan Dali especially. I love Yunnan Dali. It's very similar to Vang Vieng. And I was planning on leaving and never ever go back again. And I met my wife, who's in Laos and Britain I now. I managed to get her to escape China during COVID. Finally managed to get her to escape. And then I met her, and my plan was leave China and never ever go back. And she was lovely, but she still is lovely. It's just we never really had sex. We had sex 4 times in 10 years, and I said, look, I'm coming 5 years, or 45. I said, by 50, if I don't have sex, I can get fucking prostate cancer, and I'm not going to die for you. So I need sex.
That's as good a reason as any to leave.
It didn't really happen. So I met her, and she said, if you want to be with me, this is after an hour of knowing her, you have to get married to me. And the Beijing Olympics was coming up and everything, and I thought she was great. I still do think she's great. And I went, fuck it, why not? So did it. I had to go back to England to do all the paperwork because the Chinese government were worried about the Olympics and stuff like that, and people were desperate to try and get marriage visas. I went to the UK and they said, we can only give you a 1-month visa. I said, go fuck yourselves, I want a 6 months visa. If you don't give me a 6 months visa, I'll go to Burma and I'll come illegally through the jungle. And they went, okay, we'll give you a 6 months visa. And I was the only person that got a 6 months visa. And I made all the paperwork to get married and everything because they'd stopped it in China at that time. I did everything legally and went back, and we got married April 22nd, 2009.
Is there any time, you said that you travelled to other countries in Southeast Asia, and you told us a story about a couple of friends of yours that unfortunately
were in Phnom Penh.
What about yourself? When have you felt in danger when you've been travelling around Asia?
5 years ago today, I was actually pronounced dead, and then they brought me back to life. And that's on Facebook.
How did that happen?
The guy who worked for me decided he didn't like what I was doing, so he smashed my head against the floor until I actually died. And then he decided that was probably a slightly bad idea and then resuscitated me.
Christ, I was expecting a heart attack. Normally when people...
Oh, I've had 6 heart attacks and a lung spasm. I had 2 heart attacks and a lung spasm the same day. That was really intense. No? That was 2012. That's from DVT, deep vein thrombosis. I had blood clots in my leg. Too much travelling.
Yeah, a lot of people get that when they're on flights, don't they?
Yeah, I did 17 flights in 3 days. Well, that was pretty intense.
So
South America.
Just Phnom Penh would be where you were.
I was in the 2 tsunamis. I saw 2,500 people die in front of me in Fiji.
You were there when that happened?
Yeah, I've got the photos down here.
I will definitely have a look at those when we're done with this.
Right, I've got photos down there.
And how did you stay safe when that happened?
Got lucky. We wanted to stay, you know, PP, it's like this, but not like that. It's the same the other side, and you had all the, most of the bungalows and everything in between the two different beaches.
Yeah. What, either beaches either side of the island?
Yeah. And Christmas time they were all full, so we ended up having to move up and further up the mountain, and we got to a place called Betrayal Resort, which means coconut.
At what point did you realise that you needed to get to higher ground? Because I feel like
we were already there. I was drinking a cup of coffee and having a bit. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning or something, and all of a sudden the sea started going out. It's taken me a long time to talk about this. It took me 10 years to talk about this.
It really affected you.
Fuck yeah, when you see everyone you know dying and lots of other people as well. 2,500 people. And all the Thai and were running onto the beach to collect the fish to sell in their restaurants. And all the Phalang foreigner were running onto the beach to collect the fish to try to save them, and all of a sudden the sea just came rushing in and bang, straight in the middle of the island, killed everyone, and then went out again and came back bigger. And I was sitting there going, what the fuck?
Well, you just wouldn't believe it. You'd think you were...
I had no idea what tsunami was. Now I've been in 2. I was in the Fukushima one as well. Brilliant.
That's unlucky. That's why I was asking, because I feel like before that, it was 2001, that tsunami, wasn't it?
2004.
Yeah, before that one, I feel like there was no general knowledge about tsunamis. I feel like there is now.
There was a little kid, English girl, 7 years old in Phuket, that warned a lot of people and saved a lot of people's lives because she'd learned about tsunamis in school just before the Christmas holidays.
It's a stroke of luck.
Yeah, all the Aussies and Coke PP just ran up a fucking hill and didn't tell anyone. Surfers, they know all about this stuff. They didn't even bother telling anyone. Typical fucking Australians.
I've forgotten when you said you settled in Vang Vieng 16 years ago.
26.
26 years ago.
I came over illegally from Cambodia without knowing it.
Oh, what? You just sort of stumbled across the border and then were like,
I had no idea about Laos. I'd heard about it in Apocalypse Now and a couple of other Vietnam movies, America war movies, they call it here. And I paid $10 to the police in Stung Treng. $7 for a long-tail boat, no road then. $2 on a little island in Cambodia to leave, $5 into Laos. I didn't have a visa for Laos. Apparently it was illegal to enter Laos. I had no fucking idea about that. Couldn't enter by road, you could only fly in. And I came over. They followed me for 3 weeks, apparently with a view to killing me, thinking I was a spy. And then then they realised I was just a stupid tourist.
Who was following you?
The government and the army and everyone, and they were and police. They thought I was a spy. Probably. And then they realised after 3 weeks I was just an idiot.
What would they have suspected you were a spy for the US because of the secret war?
Probably, because they probably hadn't seen my passport. But I've had the records read to me. They've got records of me for 26 years. Everything I've ever done. When I'm here, when I'm not here, they have a record of you too.
I don't mind. I'm being well behaved.
Exactly.
And to be fair,
I'm still here.
I'd have to ramp up my bad behaviour by quite a bit to be equaling you, and you're fine.
Yeah, I've only been arrested a few times.
So, what would you say has changed about Vang Vieng over 26 years?
Well, we've got roads now. The market's gone. This used to be the market. This is the road going down, which has got the big hotel on now. This is where the big hotel is now. This used to be the market. This was where they dropped you off in the Song Town. No elephant anymore. This was me pointing a gun at a Laos policeman New Year's Eve 2000.
Had you agreed that you were going to point the gun at him, or?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
good.
actually, I was pointing it at a guest house, and he just got there and went ding with a smiley face. He's a hairdresser now.
That's a pretty strong career change. Was that was due to having the gun pointed?
That
He
was
like,
just
well,
here. No, just here. No, we went out shooting anything that moved after midnight. Not people, animals. Any animals in the jungle. We went out to the jungle and just shot anything. Or at anything. Just for fun. We were drunk.
we were talking about, I'll probably use this section in a video about the tipsy tubing, because obviously I've done it recently and it's very tame now.
Yeah,
it's very calm.
very controlled.
But you were telling me a bit about it. If you could just kind of repeat what you were telling me the other night, because I'd heard rumours that the government came and kind of shut the party down here, but the party's still quite heavy. So as I was doing the tubing,
It's not really heavy now.
no, but it's still a party town. I mean, the main attraction.
Yeah, it's a party town, but no one dies so much on the river anymore. Now they're dying of balloons instead.
What were the numbers that you were saying? Was it two?
Well, I believe the government like to say it's about 24 people that died over 3 years. That's absolute bullshit. I saw more than that. It's more like 250. They had these crazy ass fucking jumps. One of them was a zip line that had this massive metal stopper. Probably something like this. Metal, full on metal. Bang! Hit that, just flew off any direction. You can't see it when you're going down. If you don't let go beforehand, you're fucked. You're done.
Do you know what's wonderful? I found a clip of that exact zip line yesterday. I've already recorded it. So as you're saying that, I can show, and
that was
someone does. He gets hit. And he does about 3 flips laid out and then straight onto his face.
Yeah, absolutely.
They had a big slide. Big slide as well.
Slide as well. That was dangerous.
Does the slide not
and
exist
sharp.
anymore?
No, none of it exists anymore. But you know, originally, me and a few mates, we took tubes down there. We hired a tuk-tuk and we took tubes there. And we just float down the river. And after about a week or two of doing it a few times, suddenly little old women, and yeah, mostly little old women, started selling beer from the middle of the river in the drier parts.
Is this, you did this trip like before tipsy tubing was a thing?
1999 or something.
Oh yeah, so you're probably,
we started it.
you probably instigated all
We
this.
did. And then where Neverland is now with the zip lines and organised, on the corner, you know the bend? It's so beautiful there. If you look back and just see the mountains after you go past Neverland, it's so stunning. That's just, after that it just becomes boring. But it was so stunning. And it's fucking deep there as well. I remember the first time getting off my tube when this little old woman was going, come on, come on. And they just had a little piece of rope with bamboo and you swam into it. But the water's really deep there. And I went to jump off my tube and she went, no! Because I lost my sunglasses, of course, and my beer. It's really, that's probably the deepest part of the river. And that was always safe there, but the others, they just got greedy and started doing all kinds of crap.
That's all right, I've got that.
No.
Done.
And it just got too crazy, and they start giving out these cards for every single slide you did and every single jump and everything else.
Yeah,
And
you
they
said
were
it
dangerous.
sounded like a loyalty card, so it's sort of...
Yeah, a loyalty card basically, but you paid 10,000 kip for a shot of Lao whiskey, which is about 60% proof. Not a good idea, you don't remember anything. I went to a wedding in 2002. I was only going to buy camera film, no digital cameras back then. I was only going to buy camera film. Ended up at this fucking wedding somewhere there, no roads back then probably. Ended up on a dirt path, ended up at this wedding. No fucking memory. I took loads of photos. At the bride and groom's table, apparently, without me knowing, I went tubing after. Just full on Lao. They couldn't afford beer Lao. Right? It was mostly Lao, and they give you a little white band for every one you do. I ended up with nearly 2 arms full of them up to there.
With the kind of loyalty
Don't remember anything.
Do you get anything, like, say you fill the whole page with the stamps?
You get a T-shirt.
And
you get the pride of doing it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a couple of Mancunians, Man City supporters, walking past Luang Bakery. This is probably 2001. Had a little Lao kid, probably 5 years old, maybe even less, 5 years old, something like that, with a Man United shirt on, and they pulled him off his fucking bicycle. Went, Manchester United, who the fuck are they? And they pulled him off. And then I saw them a little the next day, and I went, do you know what you fucking did yesterday to that poor little Lao kid? And they went, oh man, we can't remember anything from yesterday, we drank too much Lao whiskey. I went, you pulled a little kid off his bike, and we're saying Manchester United, who the fuck are they? And they went, oh man, shit, you don't remember anything. After this wedding, I got home to Policeman guest house, which isn't there anymore, and then I went tubing. No memory of any of it. Ciao bello. This is a mate of mine home. Jack. We're doing a video for YouTube. It's going to be about 9 hours long.
I'll cut it a little bit, I think, but yeah, it will be a long one.
What did you have in the end? You had a two blackberry, yeah? One free and a water, no? Fucking hell, all that, only that for 25,000 kip after everything I've fucking done.
I'll be staying, don't worry.
Yeah, you fucking better, right? So,
yeah.
you know, it's legally I'm legally allowed to kill you on my property. I love my life. Not in the UK, I don't.
It's definitely an interesting one.
Oh shit, you haven't even heard a tiny blip of it. Homer, this is Homer. Welcome to Homer World.
So you had the guest house and then opened the bar?
The fucking guest. No, had the guest house, managed to sleep for a few years because of COVID, and then opened the bar. And it was actually only supposed to be half a bar and half a massage shop. But my ex-girlfriend decided it was a much better idea, so she didn't have to work, just to steal all the money for fixing the massage shop and left.
Cheeky.
Yeah, she took quite a lot of money that I got ready to make it. She still denies it.
And what are your plans for the future with the bar?
This place looks fucking mint. It's got a shitload of games. It's open all the time. Yeah, man. It just looks sick.
Still happy?
I paid 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking going anywhere. I love this bar. This is, even though I worked in the music industry and did all kinds of stuff, I love this bar.
Yeah, you were saying about
I'm very comfortable here.
You were saying about the stereophonics before.
Yeah. I found the Stereophonics, got my job with Richard Branson because of the Stereophonics, and then let someone else sign the Stereophonics. So technically I signed it.
Job with Richard Branson?
I got photos of me and him together.
Yeah? What did you do working alongside him?
Scout.
Okay.
I found Muse the day I got the sack, and they went, "We're sacking you for being a maverick and taking in too many bands." I said, "Okay, you obviously want in this then." Took Tape away. Them and Gay Dad. Gay Dad got to about number 41 or something. I signed Mooloo as well. They got to number 41. Zoe Ball, Norman Cook's wife's favourite band at the time. And lost my job, and pretty much I was ready to leave the UK by that point anyway.
Were you scouting all around the UK, or was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I found lots of bands.
That sounds like a great job, to be fair.
I put on Oasis' first gig outside the north. I knew Liam already from the band before. I put on Radiohead's second ever gig. Cranberry's first gig outside Ireland.
Wow.
I was a promoter. I was crew first, then promoter. I did fly posting and chart hyping as well. Highly illegal. I don't care if you put that on there. The chart hyping.
Oh, the chart hyping was the method of some shops had more clout with what vinyls they were selling.
Yeah,
right?
and then you get more radio play and push it to number one. We broke the Lighthouse family. We kept Bryan Adams at number one with Everything I Do for 17 weeks. I personally bought more than 5,000 copies of it.
Oh wow. Okay. Do you know there's a similar thing that people do with YouTube now? You can pay different websites, and they have click farms in China, just walls of phones, and you pay them for real views, where someone will just go and click on your video, and you pay them $10 for 4,000 views. Strange.
Fucking crazy. I mean, people do that with Booking.com and shit like that as well.
And I already asked if there's any tourists that annoy you, but you said no, they're all right.
No, not really tourists. It's more expats that annoy me.
Yeah.
Expats are cunts.
Why is that? Competing businesses or just?
Well, Pasha from Russia, he comes here and starts a fight because this was his bar at one point. But actually, Finn's bar, which is open in Vang Vieng now, is Scouser. They came here today, and he had it in between me and him, and he came here and said, "I love your bar."
Yeah, he's amicable.
Pasha's still going, "This was my bar, it's my bar, this is my country," and everything. Yeah, he's just a dickhead. Yeah, there's a couple of others, mostly okay. The French community and Belgian are all right with me. There's a couple. Homer's a kind of expat. He's not really. He's here for a few months a year, but we've known each other for years. Italian. Don't hold it against him.
I like Italians. I get on. My girlfriend's half Italian. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I need to get on.
Well, he's full on. He's not quite Sicilian though, so it's all right.
Great. I think that's covered it. Unless there's anything else that you want to talk about.
Oh Christ! I can carry on for fucking years.
I think that GoPro is going to overheat. I just felt it, and have a touch at the top of that.
Hello, darling. Oh God, I make you so hot.
That's the end clip. That's perfect. Thanks so much, man.